All right, everyone. So we have the official patch notes for 1.13 available, and I actually browsed them a little bit before recording this video, and I noticed a few hidden things. Some stuff that was kind of sneakily put in there that I was a little bit surprised to see, and I don't think a lot of people really caught this stuff yet, so I wanted to not only go over the patch notes, but also bring some attention to these hidden things in the notes themselves. Now, as to when 1.13 is going to be out, we now have 100% confirmation that it will be released tomorrow. So within 24 hours of this video being posted on YouTube, you guys can expect 1.13 to be out. Cirilla posted on the official Raid Shadow Legends Discord. The patch release is tomorrow. This was posted very shortly before I started recording for this video. So they also had a post up about Dracogate, which I thought was a little bit funny. I decided to throw in their reactions as well, because for some reason, I don't know why they think having the reactions to comments in the Discord is a good idea with all the drama going on, and you guys can see just how the community feels overall about both of these announcements. Now, getting into the actual patch notes themselves. So these are official. This is directly from Plarium themselves. This has been available for a couple of hours now, and overall, I think you guys have a pretty good idea of what my sentiment is towards this patch. I think a lot of content creators feel very similarly, and I also think that a lot of you guys probably feel pretty similarly as well. Overall, it's a pretty underwhelming patch, especially for how long it's taken for it to come out, and the insane amount of hype that Plarium has drawn towards this patch really honestly even make things worse. I think that if they weren't to hype up this patch so much, that it wouldn't be as bad, but they just hype up so much for so little that it feels like for some reason it has an effect that makes things even worse. But you guys know how I feel already. I've spent many of the last few videos already talking about my feelings, and today I wanted to just focus in on the details of the patch and get into some of that hidden info. So let's get to it. Now, I'm not going to read the fluff here at the start, but let's get into the new features and the Battle Pass. So that's going to be the main feature of 1.13. We've known about this for a while. It was on the Raid Shadow Legends roadmap, and speculation has always been that the Battle Pass is going to be a feature very similar to how Battle Passes exist in other games, and it turns out that that speculation was correct. It's going to function very similar to how you might see a Battle Pass in a game like Fortnite or any one of those other competitive games that isn't even in the same style as Raid Shadow Legends. But the Battle Pass will still function similarly nonetheless. So Battle Pass is a new feature that encompasses a variety of daily and weekly challenges that all players of level 5 and above will be able to access. Completing these challenges and gathering Battle Pass points will allow you to increase your Battle Pass level. That in turn earns rewards that increase resources, shards, champions, and even unique avatars to distinguish your player profile. So very important distinction in this Battle Pass, and this is true for a lot of other games that have a Battle Pass, is there's two components. There's the free-to-play component, which is going to be the core Battle Pass in Raid Shadow Legends, and then there is the paid component, which is going to be the Gold Battle Pass. Now, you can participate in some of the aspects of the Battle Pass without spending money, but it is going to be limited. If you want to get everything that the Battle Pass fully has to offer, it is going to be locked behind a paywall. And the way that they have it in Raid Shadow Legends is going to be that you have your Battle Pass points, which you get rewards when you get to certain Battle Pass levels by getting points, and then you have your daily and your weekly challenges. So daily challenges are going to be your free challenges, and weekly challenges are going to be your paid challenges. I'm a little bit surprised. I honestly, if I were to guess with the system, that it would be the other way around, so that your weeklies would be free and your dailies would be paid. So, you know, that's interesting, a little surprising. It'll just kind of have to see what the challenges are themselves, because right off the bat, you know, it's going to be very difficult to get a completely accurate representation of the Battle Pass without actually knowing what the rewards are, what the challenges are, how difficult it's going to be to get the levels and things of that nature. Now, something else as well is that you can't just end up doing say the dailies every single day and get all the rewards if you grind hard enough. You still have to purchase the paid Battle Pass in order to get the gold rewards. So It's not like you can double dip or anything like that. It's unfortunate, but, you know, it's really not a surprise that Raid Shadow Legends would have this. I mean, it's kind of the same in other games, but I know some people might have that idea to begin with, and unfortunately, you will not be able to do that. So keep in mind that Battle Pass challenges and rewards are only available when a Battle Pass season is active. So Battle Passes have these seasons. Usually they're, you know, a couple months or so. Don't know exactly how long the one in Raid will be, but every time a new season begins, of course, you have to purchase the new Battle Pass if you want the paid version of it. You'll also be able to get the free rewards as well. If you forget to collect your points and rewards manually, don't worry, they will be applied to your account automatically, except XP boosts, which will go to the inbox for 100 days. So you have your core available to all players automatically. With the core Battle Pass, you can earn Battle Pass points by taking part in the daily challenges, and you can win core Battle Pass rewards. You cannot get rewards for weekly challenges or claim gold Battle Pass rewards. So again, that's that mention right there of if you are free to play, it's not like you can grind really hard, participate in all the challenges every day, never miss one, and end up grinding hard enough to get the weekly paid rewards. You still have to buy it to get those rewards. Gold needs to be purchased at the shop, allows you to do everything the core pass does, but also allows you to complete weekly challenges and win the awesome gold Battle Pass rewards. On top of that, it also gives you a special season-long raid boost that gives extra silver and XP from all battles. That right there is some hidden info that when I read that really caught my attention. That's kind of like one of those things where I was like, wow, what is this right here? This is definitely something we did not know about before, and it seems like the Gold Battle Pass is going to have a feature very similar to how we have raid cards right now. So a season-long raid boost that gives you extra silver and XP from all battles. So that means that there's going to be additional experience that you can end up earning from your just regular battles, your campaign, etc., by purchasing the Battle Pass. So another experience booster that is going to be behind a paywall. What do you guys think about this? I was definitely a bit surprised to actually see this here. I definitely don't think that's caught a lot of other people's attention, kind of an easy thing to glance over, but that's honestly a pretty big deal. So more ways to get experience by spending money. Alright, so daily challenges are open to everybody. You get 4 new challenges every day, which reset at 0 UTC and are replaced by new ones regardless of whether you completed them or not. Weekly challenges give you the chance to earn even more Battle Pass points and win better rewards. You'll even get an extra reward if you manage to complete all the weekly challenges. Weekly challenges become available each week in the order set during the Battle Pass season. You will still be able to complete weekly challenges from the previous weeks as long as the season is active. Remember, you can only collect weekly challenge rewards if you have the Gold Pass. They've mentioned this yet again because it's very important to mention that, you know, it is Raid Shadow Legends, so if you want to get the Gold Battle Pass rewards, you're going to have to pay up. You can't get them even if you grind really hard with the free rewards. You still have to pay. Check out the in-game guide for further information. So, you know, this is one of those things where we have more info about it, but we're still going to have to wait and see tomorrow when the actual Battle Pass is out, what the rewards are going to be, what the challenges are actually going to be, how difficult they're going to end up being, how many points you get from the dailies, how many points you get from the weeklies, how difficult is it going to be to get the levels, and of course, what the rewards are going to end up being. I personally am very interested to see what the comparison and the contrast is between the free rewards and the paid rewards. And I really think that this is something that if Plarium had the right team working on this, they could find a way to balance this very well to both please paid and free-to-play players. I hope that they don't butcher this, but I really wouldn't be surprised if they did. You know, if they make the free-to-play rewards just complete trash compared to the paid rewards, it's really going to upset the community at a point where that's the last thing that we need. You guys know Plarium and public relations, they clearly don't have any kind of a PR team because the announcements and stuff that they have been throwing out to the community lately has really just been, I guess the only word I can think of is shocking. It's not been good, and I think that the Battle Pass is somewhere where they could hit the mark if they actually did it properly. I'm also a bit worried as well with the paid Battle Pass. How much is it going to cost? Is it going to be $5, $10? 2025? Is it going to be even more than that? That would be crazy. If it was going to be extremely expensive, how good are the rewards going to end up being? So, we'll just have to wait and find out until tomorrow. Now moving along from the actual Battle Pass itself, Faction Wars Dwarf Crypt. We know that this has been going to be coming to the game for a while now. It's actually going to be here. That means once again, for at least a short period of time, nobody will have fully completed Faction Wars while the Dwarf Crypt is still new to the game. I'm sure that will be not lasting for very long though, and I wonder if PlayerUp is going to make another announcement when somebody technically fully completes Faction Wars yet again. That would be honestly pretty hilarious. Wouldn't surprise me if they did. So that's going to be coming out. So we have some new buffs and debuffs as well. I think some of these are interesting. Poison sensitivity is definitely one that I think is pretty cool. Poison sensitivity is a debuff that increases the damage taken from the poison debuff by the recipient, can increase the damage taken by 25 or 50%. So you have that weak version and you have the strong version. Much like a lot of the buffs and debuffs we have in Raid, you kind of have like a weaker version and then you have the stronger version. This is actually a really interesting buff. I definitely think that, with the proper champion setups, this could be a game changer in the clan boss for sure. And it'll be interesting to see what champions end up getting this over time. Now, the thing is, champions introduced in Update 1.13. I don't actually know of any champions that we're getting right off the bat. I don't know if this is going to be coming out in the future or if there are going to be champions coming that they just somehow did not include in the patch notes. I don't know. Maybe they wanted to keep it as a super surprise. Kind of hard to really say. We also have decreased crit rate is a debuff that decreases the critical rate of the recipient, can decrease crit rate by 15 or 30%, and decreased crit damage is a debuff that decreases the critical damage inflicted by the recipient, can decrease the damage by 15 or 30%. The only thing that really worries me about these debuffs is I don't particularly think they're bad or anything, but how good are they in comparison to the current debuffs that we have right now? And if they introduce a lot of additional buffs and debuffs, it's just going to saturate the actual skills that champions have in the game to where it's going to be more difficult to really get the champions that have the stuff that you're really, really looking for. So, I don't want to jump too far ahead of myself, but that's always a bit of a worry that I have with not only they introduce, things like new champions, but also things like new buffs and debuffs. Buff Strengthen is a buff that decreases the damage inflicted on the recipient, can decrease the damage taken by 15 or 25%, increase accuracy, increases accuracy by 25 or 50%, and then crit damage increases critical damage inflicted by the recipient, can increase the damage by 15 or 30%. So, again, you have that weak and that strong version. Strengthen seemed a bit strange to me. I tried rereading it a couple of times. This is a buff that decreases the damage inflicted on the recipient, can decrease the damage taken by 15 or 25%. So it's called Strengthen, but it has it's more of a defensive buff. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm not reading it properly or understanding it properly, but that's something that struck me a little bit. Champion balance, of course, we have all the balancing changes to, 5 champions. They've really been hyping this up for a long time, and unfortunately, it's only going to be 5 champions. I really wish it were more. I wish that they did this much more consistently. This is the kind of stuff that we need to be seeing every couple of weeks, not every 3 months. They don't need to make 10 hype announcements saying coming soon. This stuff needs to be happening constantly, and, 5 champions waiting this long, I mean, I don't really know what to say. Now, for me personally, at least Shamrock, I pulled the Shamrock in one of my summoning videos from a few weeks ago, so pretty cool that he's going to be getting some skill reworks. I know I've talked about this very extensively in videos in the past, so I'm not really going to get too much into detail in it right now, but if you guys are interested, I'll just link this in the description. You guys can take a look at it on your own if you do have one of these champions and you're interested in what the exact rework is going to be. Now moving along to the clan boss changes. This is something that we've known about for a while. 1.13, the Demon Lord will start ignoring unkillable and block damage buffs from turn 50. Now that's still a long ways to go, so they didn't completely butcher this. It is still a nerf, but a lot of the times when game companies nerf things, they completely run it into the ground. It doesn't seem like they quite did that with the unkillable change, but I don't personally run unkillable, so I'm not really 100% sure, but it should still be viable in some way, shape, or form. It just obviously won't be nearly as effective as it is right now. Our tests show that teams built around those buffs will still dish out enough damage to make any other composition. It will be capable of earning enough points for Transcendent just quickly. The reason for this, well, I mean, we've known about this. This was really big news when they announced this. What was it? A couple weeks ago, maybe even up to a month ago now. That's how long they've been teasing some of these changes. We acknowledge the effort. Let's see. And also, another one is clan hopping. This is another big change that those of you guys who are not in the, you know, late stages of endgame or who are not a, you know, high-end player, this is something that isn't really going to have a major impact on you, but there's a lot of people who are endgame players who not only end up killing the most difficult clan bosses and getting the best chests, but they'll actually hop from one clan to another and repeat this process to get a bunch of different chests each day. So it's honestly pretty clever, but this is something that they are going to be changing so that you cannot do this anymore. So there's people that have been getting crazy rewards from clan hopping for a long time now that has kind of gone not really super recognized in the community. A lot of people didn't really bring a ton of attention to it, but either way, that is no longer going to be a thing after the patch is released. Multi-battle. This is another big one where they actually mentioned something that really caught my attention. Multi-battle will have a significant buff in this update. Now they will work as follows. No raid card, 30 multi-battle attempts. Raid card, 100 multi-battle attempts, plus 20% XP, plus 20% silver. You know, that's pretty significant right there. The increase in actual attempts themselves doesn't seem like a super significant buff. They just changed the number to allow you to get more attempts. Honestly, I really feel like it should be unlimited. Maybe if it were to be unlimited, it wouldn't give you the extra experience or silver, but I mean, the technology is there. It exists in the game. If you're paying money, it's not like you're accomplishing anything that somebody wouldn't be able to do. You're just doing something that people use auto clickers and things to do anyway. It seems a bit silly to me, but, you know, that's just another Plarium thing that I could go on about. Now, speaking of the technology is there, this is something that really caught my attention. Additionally, we are launching a special event in which multi-battles will be usable in dungeons for an entire month. Why not make this permanent? If the technology is there, this should just be a feature of the raid card. It should just exist. Honestly, this would be huge, and I think this would cause a lot of people to be interested in purchasing the raid card. When this event ends, though, a lot of people are just going to cancel it, and it just doesn't seem like it needs to be an event itself. It should just be a permanent feature. I don't know, man. I really, you know, Plarium does some strange things. I like the event, I like the idea, but I really think that this should just be a permanent feature. This event will be available to all players. Multi-battle attempts will be shared between campaign and dungeon battles. The overall number will remain the same as described above, 30 for all players and 100 for raid card holders. So that's definitely something that was a bit hidden. You know, I hope what happens is the event goes well and they end up making it a permanent feature in the game. But, you know, knowing Plarium, it might not be that way. And some miscellaneous things as well. Google Play and Game Center accounts are now viable to be connected to Raid Shadow Legends. A new alert pop-up has been added to the tavern, warning players about sacrificing champions of artifacts and accessories. I know I've made this mistake before, so hey, you know, quality of life changes are always welcome, and they should probably be doing even more of these. A number of passive skills receive visual animation and artifact upgrade animation increased by 50%. Little things, but they are quality of life, and it would be great if, you know, we got these kind of changes not every 3 months, but maybe every 3 weeks, and if they added even more of this stuff and focused on these things a little bit more. But, you know, that's the patch notes. If this came out every couple of weeks, if we got this kind of info, it would be a much different story, not only from myself about how I feel, but I think from a lot of the other content creators and just from the community in general. But for the amount of hype that Plarium has brought to this patch, from the amount of coming soon announcements and how long it's taken, the delays, it really is just, it's underwhelming is what it is. And, you know, I hope that things kind of change in the future, that they slowly start to wake up and realize that, but I wouldn't really get my hopes up. Like I said in the last video, the last couple of videos, love the game, been playing it for a while, but I definitely have my fair share of gripes with the company itself. So with that all being said, that is going to end up being it for the video today, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think about the patch notes 1.13 in general and about those little hidden things as well that kind of caught my attention. If you enjoyed, consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you guys for all the support, everyone. Feel free to toss a quick like as well. It helps out more than you can imagine, and more Raid Shadow Legends videos should be popping up on the screen right about now. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great day, and this is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.